Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us again another time in our series of Story to Tell. Today we have a very important guest who will be sharing his experiences with us. Before we begin, let me remind those who have not yet subscribed to our YouTube and Facebook channel to do so. Click like for our Facebook page if you have not yet done so, and for our YouTube, you click the subscribe icon at the bottom and the bell so you can be notified for future videos that we'll produce. Alright, and we'll have other information about how you can become a part of this whole thing as a partner, as a sponsor, or if you just want to help out to keep the show going. We put more information in the description below. So today we have sharing with us Dennis Rushton. It's a pleasure to have you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank
How
you.
are you doing?
Great, great, happy.
Happy. Okay. Alright, we're just gonna start with your early years back at St. Richard's, and you tell us a little about your family and you go on from there.
Uh, I went to, before St. Richard's Primary, I was a student at Mavisville Prep. When I got to grade 3, my parents moved me to St. Richard's Primary because at that time we lived in Havendale and St. Richard's was much
just down the
closer.
road.
I could walk.
Yes.
I did common entrance. You probably wouldn't know about
Yes,
common
I
entrance.
did
That's
common
before your
entrance
time. So I did common entrance. The teacher at the time was Mrs. Cunningham, grade 6, very good teacher. I mean, every year she would get 100% passes.
Yes.
I missed a government scholarship by 10 marks. But I went to the great Calabar High School, you know.
So they say.
Yes. And I enjoyed my time there. Left there, I did business at Excelsior, Exed, and then went to UTech, spent some time there, left there, went to Jamaica Public Service, spent 7 years there and walked out, and I'm full-time in music and I'm
Okay.
having fun.
Tell us a little bit about your family background. You're the only one. Your mother's name, your father's name.
Okay, my father he's deceased now. He died in 1999. His name was Dennis Alpheus Rushton. My mother, Verona Edith Rushton. My sister, Michelle Ann Rushton. I have 2 brothers. My father had a son and my mother has a son. My mother's son died maybe 2 years ago, 2017. My father's son is very much alive, Danny, and we have fun together all the time in Florida.
Okay.
I go up and see him as often as I can. So that's pretty much the story as far as my family history is
And you
concerned.
have one other sibling who lived with you
Right,
growing up.
right, my sister, she
Your
lived
sister.
with me.
How was it in those early years living with your sister? You're the same age or you're much older?
I am 2 years older. We're 2 different people, 2
Yeah.
different personalities. I'm a lot more outgoing and
she's a lot more
exciting.
reserved.
She's a lot more reserved. But we got along.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she went through the same Mavisville and St. Richard's as you?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, we moved. When they moved me, they moved her as well. Right.
So you'll have to be at school and looking out for her and all
Yeah, you know what I mean?
As a big brother.
Yeah.
big brother.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So when you went to Calabar now, what were some of the activities that you were involved in?
Outside of school, I played a lot of table tennis. It was my dream to become a member of the Calabar table tennis team, but with Michael Hyatt and Stephen Hilton and those big boys
Yeah.
who went on to become Caribbean champions, it was impossible.
Yes.
Those guys are really good. In fact, Michael Hyatt, up to 4 years ago, was number 7 in the US. So, you know, we had really some of the
Talent,
best.
natural
Right.
talent.
Anyway, I made my team from my class.
Yeah.
That was all I did outside of studying. You know, I didn't really do anything else.
So were you a focused child growing up, or your parents had to be behind you trying to get you to study?
I was way more focused in primary school. And I was way more focused in like first form and second form. By the time I got to third form, I started to play a little bit too much table tennis.
Okay.
So I lost some amount of focus. But then At 15, which was when I got to fifth form, I knew I wanted to become a musician. Of course, my mother wasn't having that, you know. She wanted me to become a doctor or a lawyer. But I was determined that music is what I wanted to do. The passion inside of me, by then I had done grade 7, or I was about to do my grade 7 in classical music. So I was very focused and very passionate about the thing, the keys, you know. And that pretty much was where the change started.
So your introduction to music was basically from your parents?
My parents,
Yes.
they sent me to music lessons when I was 9 years old.
9 years old.
Right.
That was still at St. Richard's?
That was still at St. Richard's and all of Calabar.
Yes.
Because at 9, I did, 1 year preparation for the grade 1 exam.
Yes.
And then I did up to grade 7. So you're talking about 8 years of classical music.
Yeah. You remember who was your teacher?
Mrs. Faulkner.
Mrs. Fawn.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So you moved on into your love for music based on all of those years doing the grade 1 to 7.
Right. So while doing classical music, people like Sister Kelly, Jean Kelly, people like Dawson, I can't remember his first name, Errol Dawson, way back then at the famous Wyman Street Pentecostal Church. They saw a talent in me. People like Henry Brush. And Charles Siblis
Yes.
started a junior band.
Yes.
My best friend at the time, still is, Mark Stewart, was a part of it. Carl Warp was a part of it. So we all joined the music, the music department. And there we started learning the recorder, we started learning how to beat rhythms and learn percussive stuff. And it opened my eyes and my brain. And then my mother sent me to a next door neighbor who was playing guitar. She taught me the guitar as well. So at that time now, I was combining my classical training with the guitar training and with what I was hearing at church. And what I was hearing at church wasn't classical music.
Yes.
So that created the kind of fusion
Yes.
that I produce now.
No.
So if you listen now, you hear classical, but you hear gospel. And then I went to EXED and I met John Williams, who taught me jazz. So I mixed the jazz with the classical and the gospel to get that sound.
Okay. So your first job you identified earlier was at JPS. How was that?
Well, fine. It was fine, but I knew that it was a stepping stone. I knew I didn't want to stay there.
What era?
It's accounting.
Accounting. So that's what you did at UTech.
That's what I did at UTech.
Okay.
Right.
So when you were going through UTech and doing the accounting, is it that something that you love or you just needed?
I was just doing it, going through the motions. I mean, I knew it was going to be a stepping stone because I knew I wanted to be a full-time musician. So it was really just doing it as a backup,
Fallback.
Yeah. God forbid, worst case,
If you lose 2 fingers.
God forbid, you can still look at the balance sheet and
Yes.
do something with assets and liabilities and so on. But had no interest outside of music.
Yes.
And then now when I met John Williams, I found out that he had a recording studio. And then he took me through the ropes of attaching the computer to the keyboard.
Yes.
In those days, that wasn't popular in Jamaica.
Yeah.
He was probably the first or the second person to have a setup like that at home. And then that was exciting. So I spent time learning that. And then eventually I set up a studio of my own.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about after you left JPS. You just went full-time music.
Well, my brother.
How was that transition when you're going to leave
Oh,
from a
my
steady paycheck to not knowing what a gig would bring?
Okay.
And all of those.
So let me tell you what triggered it off. My father died in 1999. I decided then that it was time to go home and take care of my mother. So, and it was a time when they were having Y2K.
Yes.
So I resigned from JPS and stepped into my own business place at home because my mother was there. So I would work knowing that mommy, was right there because by that time she was getting into her 70s, let's say. The first 5 years was rough.
So was it that you were teaching or you had
I
classes
was
or
teaching, I was recording, but it wasn't consistent.
yes.
You know, and I was still doing shows here and there, but it wasn't consistent. But I still refused to step outside of my beliefs. I still refused to step outside of my comfort zone. I really didn't want to go play music that I would be ashamed of.
Yes.
So I just stayed focused. And I still held on to the belief that one day things would get better. And then in 2005 it got better.
Got a breakthrough
I got
project.
a breakthrough. I was, well, before that, in 2000, BET called and said they heard about me and they wanted some Caribbean jazz musicians to play. And I just said yes off the bat. I did it. That really started to change
So it was a
things.
series like, or it was a show like
It was just
every
a
year?
1 hour recording, but they play it every now and then.
Every now
A
and
matter of
again.
fact, I think they're still playing it. So that was in 2000. But then from 2000 to 2005, things got a little rocky, highs, lows, you know, inconsistent finances. But I still stayed focused. And then in 2005, Swallowfield Chapel called me and offered me a job. I met with my pastor at Wyman Street, Reverend John Mark Bartlett, and we spoke, and he approved and endorsed the move. And I went there 2005 for a 2-year contract, and I'm still there.
2 years. 2
Yeah.
years contract it was initially.
Right, and I'm
And it's
still
how
there
much years now?
2019.
2019, that's
Yes,
for 14?
14 years.
14 years. So
Yeah.
how was that experience been?
Wonderful, exciting. I have no regrets. I'm happy. They treat me really good there. They love me. I love them. They have embraced me, embraced my family. They're very supportive to my wife and my son. A matter of fact, my son visits every now and then, and they ask him to help out with coordinating the Sunday school classes and so on. You know, so it's going well. It's going well.
As you mentioned your son, tell us about a little bit about your family. How a son came into being and move on from there. Move on from there. I know he didn't fall from the sky.
My son was born in 2003. He's been a blessing from the Lord. Very focused young man. He went to Mona Prep, did very well there. He passed for Campion. He's been doing very well at Campion. He's in fourth form now, about to go to fifth. And for fourth form, all of fourth form, he was number one in the class,
That's very good.
coming home with a 94, 95 average. When we used to pick him up at Mona Prep, if I pick him up early, he would do his homework in the car. If I picked him up late, he would be under the tree doing his homework
Self-discipline from early.
doing his homework while the other kids were playing. Very focused. He doesn't do a lot of songwriting now, but when he was in prep school, he used to write songs. And when I said brilliant skills, so I know there is some music there, you know, as to whether it will come out again down the road, I don't know. But he's doing very well, and I'm very proud of him. He doesn't give me any trouble.
Okay. So take us back a little further to 2001 when you produced that song, Our God is Able.
Right.
Tell us about that project and leading up to it.
So JCDC called asking me to produce a song. I said, okay. To be honest with you, I had that attitude like, okay, I really wasn't interested. She came to the studio and I said, hello. And she said, hello. And I was very cold. And I said, sing something. And I turned my back to her. When she started singing, I felt something inside of me bubbling up. A connection immediately, and I knew that this girl was not just singing. And I thought, well, yes, this is the kind of voice, the kind of talent I want to work with. And I turned around, looked at her. She had some folks with her as well. Asked them to sit down and started working on the song. She came back from Mandeville a couple of times during the week, and we worked on the song. It came out to be a wonderful experience. People called and said that it drew them closer to the Lord. Even people who are not Christians would congratulate me for the way the song was produced. Today it is still the only song that has won that didn't have any drums or bass. you know. So it was very different, a wonderful experience. I cherish it.
2001.
2001.
Tell us some of the other gospel projects that you had worked on.
I have done quite a bit of work uh, for Robert and Genevieve. I have worked, I became music director for Glacier Robinson for many years. We traveled, we did a lot of stuff together. John Williams also recommended me to Fatherhood, and I traveled with him extensively for about 3 years. That changed my life. That changed my musical life, because at one point we were in Los Angeles, Hollywood, and the orchestra that we were playing alongside is the orchestra that is usually hired for movies. So this is like the top orchestra in LA. And trust me, I began to see music in colors.
Yes.
Red, green, blue, black, dark, blue, dark,
Multiple.
Yes, man, because the kind of harmonies, the texture of the different instruments, the volume, how they would find them way across passages, melodic passages. And that's when I really got to see John Williams at another level, because John was a musical arranger. And that just changed my whole mindset, and my knowledge of music went up.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about after your father died, how did it affect you, if at all? Did you have to get like counseling, because you would have been the only male left in the family?
I didn't get any kind of counseling. It took me
Where you find the strength?
maybe about 10-15 years to really get over it. I think it was easier to get over it because my mother was still alive, or is still alive, and because Daddy spent a lot of time investing in me. Daddy taught me things to do and not to do, places to go and not to go. Not only because he was a preacher or a pastor, but also spoke to me like a father and a son. He taught me about economics, taught me the things to buy and things not to buy, taught me about whether or not to borrow money or not to borrow money. So he spoke to me. Spoke to me about being very careful with women, treating women with respect. Spoke to me about cars. He knew I like cars. So he was really a father, how a father ought to be with his son. Spent a lot of time together. And I cherish those memories. So if I start missing him, I think about those memories, and they kind of help me to
console. Yeah. I seen that you are so heavily involved in music. Is it that your son is also heavily involved? Would you wish, if not?
My son is a songwriter. He does a little rapping, but he's predominantly a songwriter. Right now, he's very focused on his schoolwork, and I don't mind. I mean, he knows that if another 5 years, 10 years, if he wants to come into music part-time or full-time, he has my full support. But for now, he's very focused on his schoolwork, and he's doing very well, and I wouldn't do anything to remove him from that. So it doesn't matter to me whether he becomes a musician or not.
Because some parents, if they are involved in something, they want their children to be involved in.
Yeah, I'm not like that. Let
him choose his own
let
path.
him choose his own path, and whatever he wants to do, I will support him as best as I can. At the rate he's going now, in another year or so, he'll be getting a scholarship. Because if he maintains his grades, he definitely is going to be getting a scholarship.
As you mentioned, which career path he wants to
He wants to be an architect.
Okay. Within the past few years, probably spanning 5 years, what would you say is your most difficult experience that you've been through that has changed your life?
Well, in 2014, I went through a separation. To everybody, it was a bad experience. Initially, it was a bad experience for me, but over time, God has proven himself to be a rock in a hard place, and I've realized that the caterpillar has to go through a process before it becomes a butterfly.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for the experience. I have no regrets whatsoever. I'm very happy that the Lord allowed the separation. Um, in the human way of thinking, it's painful. In the realm of the heavenlies and in the realm of what has happened since that, I'm very happy, very, very happy in all areas and having fun, enjoying life.
You keep making reference to God and such along that lines. Seems like He's a very integral part of your life. Tell
Of
me,
course, man, of course.
He's not a part of it. He is your life.
Yes, man. Shaping, you man, as born in the church, so to speak. Father and mother ministers in the church. I know no other life. In 2000 and I can't remember the year now. I was just trying to decide to leave the church, and I just couldn't. I just couldn't. A matter of fact, at one point, I played secular music for about 8 months, 9 months, and I realized it wasn't for me. It's just not for me. I don't judge anybody, but it's just not for me. So I gave it up and decided to play gospel music, and I play love songs and jazz as far as a wedding is concerned or a birthday party is concerned. Something that I can control the content.
Yes.
So you won't catch me on stage backing up an artist that will sing about gal and you do all kind of thing with gal. That's just not me, you know. And if they want to do it, I'm not judging them either, because I'm not the judge. God is the judge. And then let me also talk about the change. In 2016, God blessed me with a wonderful wife, Carlisa, who is a singer and also a musical arranger. So you understand.
So there's a union.
There's a union coming together.
So she accompanies you in some of your
Yeah,
performances?
whenever we perform together. Once the gig requires a female singer, she's a singer. And we work well together.
Tell us how you met this, your new one.
Oh,
Was it on one of the gigs?
No, we met on Facebook, you know.
People still meet on Facebook?
Yes, man. Yes, man. I did, you know, I do all together sing. So I used to dress weird. So she wrote me one day on Facebook and criticized the way I was dressing. I'm like, who is this girl to come tell me about me not dressed properly? So I ignored her. After about 2 days, I decided to go through her Facebook pictures. And I like what I saw. I like the colors. I like how she would mix colors. I started reaching out to her and, you know, stuff. And I became more comfortable. So to the point where I would show her the outfits that I was going to wear the following week. And then she would say yes or no, and say no, change the color of the tie. And that was it. Just strictly TVJ, all together sing. So I didn't know her, you know, didn't meet her.
Yes. Still.
So we're talking about clothes and colors and fashion for a year. Didn't see her, never met her. That was it. And then she would help me. So privately, she became my fashion consultant. But we never met, we never spoke anything else outside of fashion. Years passed and I found out that she sings. And I still didn't meet her. And one day I said, you know, this is after about 2-3 years. I said, you know, we need to meet. And I drove, met her. And the meeting lasted a minute. When I drove off, I said, Chuck, she ugly, yeah, man.
You said that to yourself?
I said that to myself. She will tell you. She will tell you that. And
So you never see her picture on Facebook?
Yeah, but on Facebook she look alright.
Oh, okay.
And I drove off and that was that. Forgot about her. And she thought I was unattractive too. But we had no interest in each other at all. So it didn't matter. Coming back one day from Ocherios, I heard a voice say, Lisa.
That's her name?
Yeah, Carlisa, but we call her Lisa. I said, no, sir. And I'm driving and I'm alone in the car. And I heard, it makes sense. Because by then, we were entertaining at hotels and weddings. I was playing, she was singing. And I thought, you know, it makes sense. If me play and she sing, marry the girl. That was it. And of course, I approached her, you know the usual. She tell you no, she tell you it can't work. She said we must just be friends, tell you that we were co-workers and that's it.
Don't
But
want to
I
mix
was,
business with pleasure.
no, but I was persistent. I wasn't taking no for answer. And then eventually she realized that, it made sense. So it was purely business. Wasn't she looked good? It wasn't.
Yeah.
I love her. It was not like that.
So the,
I play these things, and we work well together. And then after about 6 months, after dating, now we start to realize that I really like this girl, and it grew into love. We're very very happy now. Very very happy.
okay. Tell us one of the most difficult decisions you have had to make in your adult life.
Oh, um, that's oh, I don't think about that one. Um, Going into full-time music
Yeah. I figure you would say
was
that.
a hard decision because JPS was a set salary.
Yeah.
JPS was a good job, and I was on tour at the time with Fatherhood long. Andrew Lawrence, who used to be the lead singer for Change.
Yeah.
Why won't you take the Lord in your life?
Yeah.
That voice. Andrew Lawrence turned to me one day on tour and said, why you don't become a full-time musician? I said, no, Andrew, no, I'm not giving up my job.
Yeah.
He said, no, but you have the talent, you have the gift,
It was the fear of the
and you're
unknown.
serving a big God.
Yeah.
I said, Andrew, yeah, but where's your faith?
Yeah.
And
He
that
challenged
he
you.
challenged me and it planted a seed. I came back, told my mother, and my mother was like, no, 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 no. Oh no, you have your job at JPS, you need to stay there. And every year, no, 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 no. And people around as well, no, 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 no. Even members at the church, Wyman Street, and no, no, no. Until one day, when Daddy died, no, I think that's where my mother kind of agreed with me. And I thought it best to avail myself for her. I went full time.
Okay.
At this point, I have no regrets.
Yes.
But in the early years, it was rough. It was rough.
Throughout your musical career, which would you identify as the high point?
There are several high points, but the biggest breakthrough internationally was BET and the World Network.
Yes.
I was featured on both stations.
You got the most exposure.
The most exposure. Being associated with TVJs Altogether Sing has been very rewarding. I get a chance to work with children. I get a chance to encourage children, and it's been very rewarding. And I mean, I'm very proud to say I was the first person to identify Romain Virgo as a potential
Yes.
big-time singer. I met Christopher Martin 6 months before he entered Rising Stars. I was recording his group in my home studio, about 6 of them. And I stopped the recording and I said, young man, there's something different about you. What is it? I kind of felt bad because I said it to him in front of the others. And they just stood back and listened. And 6 months after he entered Rising Stars, he won. I'm very proud of them. They're both very focused, and they have continued to maintain pretty much a lot of humility
Yes.
and
Stay grounded.
stay grounded, touring all over the world, places I've never been, but that's fine, you know. Very proud of them.
In your spare time, when you're not involved in music, what does Dennis do?
Spend time with my wife.
Do you watch like movies? Do
No,
you play games?
not a movie person. But once I have time for myself, you find me in a table tennis room.
Okay, you still have the love for table
Yeah.
tennis.
In fact, table tennis is the reason why I'm called the smashing pianist.
Okay.
Because the first tournament I played, I was playing against this little boy, 11. He was 11 at the time, and he was beating me. I think he had me like 7-4. And it was the final game, and I decided that this little boy was not going to beat me. It was at the YMCA, like an arena like type thing, and he had me 7-4. And I decided no, and the crowd was cheering for him. So I smashed him, it became 7-5. And I shouted out, the smashing pianist! And of course everybody is
And from
laughing.
then-
And I smashed him again, 7-6. And I
That was
said,
the
the
end.
smashing pianist. Smashed him again. 7-7. And it went to 9-7, 10-7. By that time now, the crowd started shouting, the smashing pianist.
Yeah, they caught on.
And that was it.
Hmm.
No regrets.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Whoa. I really can't answer that right now, except to say I am comfortable with what I'm doing now. I am comfortable with the places that my wife and I perform right now, which is in church, obviously, as well as hotels, weddings,
Another special
banquets.
corporate event.
I do concerts every now and then. I haven't done one for myself in a while. I may start putting that on again. We want to complete a recording or even an album for my wife, produce something for her, get her out there. We want to travel the world. We're starting to do that this year. Go different places, new experiences, see different music, different musicians, learn more, enjoy, and enjoy God at the same time.
As we close, could you just give our viewers a word of encouragement? Probably somebody is out there who admires you being in music and would want to get in. Just speak to somebody out there.
Well, if you have a dream, stay focused, don't give up. Um, Go and learn. If you have to go to university to learn your craft or spend a lot of time reading on the internet, build up your knowledge base and stay focused. Don't look to the left or the right. Stay away from distractions. Stay away from drugs. Men, stay focused. Don't bother with the whole woman business. Stay away from getting drunk. I mean, the Bible says drink a little wine for the stomach's sake.
But not too much.
But not too much.
Dennis, thank you so much for
Yes, sir.
spending time with us today.
Yes, sir.
And thank you all for tuning in another time to another in our series, A Story to Tell. Before you go, just reminding all those persons who are out there who would want to become a part of the TTN family, description below will be posted, and reminding you again to like this video and also to subscribe to our channel. Until next time, have a blessed day.
once again.